You're tuned into the Growth Ceilings podcast, the show for builders, dreamers, and leaders ready to break limits and grow beyond what they thought possible.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Growth Ceilings podcast. I'm your host. My name is Jim Lovelady. I'm a professional EOS implementer. EOS stands for the Entrepreneurial Operating System. I am thrilled to be joined today by Ravit Gutman. She's the founder and CEO of Extropy Advisors, leading the #1 people-first digital transformation partner globally, turning technology and human potential into extraordinary outcomes. So let's jump right on into it. I invited you today to join me for a conversation around growth ceilings and basically your experiences as a founder of your business, as a CEO, as a leader. There's a lot to uncover, especially in your experience. Why don't you give us all, just to start off with a little background about who you are, what your company does, what you're doing today. Talk a little bit about your target customer as well.
Perfect. So Extropy was founded about 10 years ago, really after I took my first job in corporate America and here in the US. I'm originally from Israel. And I'm going to say that I did my first digital transformation all the way back in the army when I was 18, came here to the US, worked for an Israeli company, did my second transformation, really assisting with a large retail organization transition from cash registers to point of sale systems and learning how to lead sales differently with the data that came from those point of sale systems. Somewhere when I had to move here to Little Fort Myers, Florida, after I got married, I took my first corporate job and I was baffled with the amount of silos and really finding out about that entropy problem that exists there. So many good people, so many smart people that want to push so many different initiatives, but nothing is moving forward. It's like you see so many teams working on the same problem. And I was one of those people within just trying to help how we can work smarter, better, actually utilize the potential that we have with our people and realize really how much corporate America is running blind, even with the systems that they have and how they think they have access to data, but they don't. And I'm a very data-driven person, so it was kind of frustrating for me. And I have learned that what you can do from within, you can do from the out. So I've decided if I cannot help making that change from within, I moved to being a consultant and I took that position. Starting really with my first 4 years working with one company on a finance transformation project, going project after project, just saving a lot of money for the back office and trying to really automate different type of departments and help people thrive in this wonderful digital era that we exist in. And really that's how Extropy came to life. So really Extropy, the opposite of entropy, is really the evolution of people through that technology. And for me, this is something that I've been personally very passionate about, to see how so many roles that have been stuck in the stone age of just data entry, taking invoices and processing them as a paper, or even to give a lot of teams even get that email and they still print it and making sure that they're filing it somewhere. And just having people to be excited again about change that is coming through the system and becoming an analyst, seeing women become part of the conversation again in the board meeting, just being able to supply data to the organization based on some of those systems and implementations. And it's been an amazing journey with that. I think something that started from really trying to solve a problem for a company became a whole business afterwards. And what's really amazing about this company personally, it's really that this is a business that grew 100% by referrals, by happy customers that really have seen that change and that impact to their people, and how they're able to do so much more with, again, layering the technology, focusing on the impact on the people, and the why of how we're doing those type of processes.
That is fascinating. It's inspiring. And I will tell you, I know we're new to each other. I'm a huge fan already.
Perfect.
That's great. There's a lot to unpack in what you just said.
Yeah.
I think it's really important for you to share again, what's the thought, the idea, what was the inspiration for you for the name of the company? it's defined by growth, order, and improvement over time. But give us a little bit more depth on what inspired you to create that name for the company.
Well, when I wanted to find a name for the company, I wanted to solve that entropy problem of the amount of silos that exist in corporate America.
Mhm.
And really, I was looking for something that really represent the future and how we grow as people. And I came to the definition of extropy, and really how we expand, transform as people through technology. And really, there's a whole extropian terminology all the way to a religion as well, somewhere in the futuristic world. But I really believe, that the definition is really how do we evolve really as people, especially now at the AI age more than anything, that where everyone are saying the buzzword of AI, we need to have AI, we need AI in everything. Every CFO wants AI in their systems. How can I replace more people with AI? How can I replace more processes with AI? And really, I actually try to go into the human part of it, of how actually AI together with people and actually elevating people to the right roles to work with AI and really with all the digital solutions that exist today and find out harmony to get to that place. And that's what really brought that name for me.
Outstanding. And that's a great explanation, both of the inspiration for the name of your company, but also as you're helping with digital transformation, because you're right. A lot of people see AI as a way to reduce labor cost. And it's just, it's not all about cutting people. It's really just how do we use AI to further advance with people? And there's a whole topic around that. So as you mentioned earlier, you've built your business, you've been around for well over 10 years now. You're 55 people strong in your company. There's a lot that you got going on as a CEO, managing your business day to day. What's been the biggest growing pain as you scaled the business?
I think one of the things that I needed to figure out first before even scaling is the fact that I have built a company that is 100% virtual. So those 55 employees are not in the office. You see me right now, I'm in my home office. And really, I'm a mother of three under 10. And when I was looking to build this business, I wanted to build a business that would work for me as a mom, that I don't need to compromise on what I'm dreaming to be, but I'm still able to build my schedule, to build this business around me still being available for the house as I need. And it became one of the things as well of the people that I've attracted. It's people that are looking for that balance. So for that father, that it's important for them to pick up their kids at 3 o'clock from the car line. If it's people in India that are looking to work on the nighttime on the US time so they can be available for their family. And many mothers that exist here in this organization. So really finding that type of people that should be part of this community that we've built here, and that will be that fit, because it's not only to scale and grow, but really one of the challenges of having a company that is 100% remote, especially global as we are in Canada, Argentina, US, Europe, and India, is really making sure that you have that full visibility, control, transparency, and more important than anything, culture. Okay, that you're able to build on that culture that brings everyone together beyond their own personal cultures and different things. So I myself, as I said, an Israeli here in the US, and that has really been the driving force behind all of this. And really the first 10 years has been how are we building a strong culture as a company that everyone that are coming in, they understand that what it means to be an extropian, what it means for our customers, what does it mean to really with the basic motivation of just making customer success stories, making sure that we see successful outcomes from different type of implementation projects that for different systems for our customers, and making sure that they're able to keep that balance with their teammates, knowing that people work in different work hours and we're all responsible adult, knowing that we need to do what we need to do for our customers. And I think that if I look back, that has been my first mission more than anything. I think the second mission is really in scaling, which is where I stand today, and is really I am somewhat stuck, as most owners are, and not founders. myth of how do you step out of the business in terms of scaling? How do you start building that your business runs without you being on every customer engagement, without you doing the sales, without you doing the delivery? And that has been really 2025 for me. This year, I have hired a whole new leadership team to make sure that I have a director of sales and director of business development and marketing, professional services, and really making sure to embed that whole layer to allow me to really step up and make this company essentially scale to our next chapter and where we're heading. And that is painful. I will tell you, painful from leadership, from learning how to let go
Yes.
while still inspiring and guiding and mentoring and giving trust when potentially trust has yet to be earned, and everything, trust and verify, still learn that sweet balance that exists for so many owners. And yeah, and that's where I am on my founder journey.
Excellent. So I'm going to ask a couple quick questions here. How do you keep your team aligned around the same vision as you grow?
So that's an excellent question. And that I'm thankful for the mastermind I'm part of, because one of the things that they've set me to first do to my mentor is to really write my vision on paper. So at the end of last year in December, I've actually published a paper, which is my 2027 vision. So really writing future tense where we are as a company in 2027. That was really we did a corporate retreat, one in the Americas and one in India. We got everyone on site. We presented that, and we made sure that everyone understands what is my scaling vision. What does it mean? Where do I see this company go in 2027? Because a lot of time, what happens when you grow as a company, a lot of times what got you here won't get you there. And I needed to have that spot with my team saying, okay, we got here and it's amazing, but this is where I want to get. This is how I see 2027. Who's with me? And also sharing that it is going to be a painful ride, because one of the things that I was able to take back from it is really running that gap analysis of understanding, okay, or even you can call it the SWOT analysis, of if I want to get here, what am I missing to get there? And start working on that with my team. And really, that has been my mission this year with leadership, really working on those type of gaps. So we took that 2027, built that plan for 2025, for 2026, and different milestones that we need to solve. And we're working through this, working through quarterly to get to those milestones, and making sure that we are continuously in that path to that vision. And more important than anything, as we know that culture is the heart of especially a virtual company, is making sure that we become, all of us as leadership, those chief repetition officers of making sure we communicate that vision over and over and over again in everything that we do, not just in marketing materials that we're going within. It's actually more important than anything within, and making sure that everyone are all the time understanding their why and how they're connected to that why, because it's very important for me that they get that, understand that impact, because in the end of the day for us, and what's important to that vision is to create an impact-driven organization. And if that means creating that impact for our team internally as well as externally for that customers.
So I don't have to tell you, but a 3-year picture, and I give you huge applause for having the vision to map out a 3-year picture. It comes up fast. 2027 is only 14 months away, right?
Oh.
And I'm sure you feel that pressure already, right?
Yes, very much do. And I can tell you, I did a think tank
That's funny.
yesterday with all of my employees. And that was one of the questions that they were like, okay, so we are now at the end of October. Like, how are we, not 2027 plan? It's like, are we on track on that? And it's like, yes, it's very much it's something that the pressure is on all the time. And, being election year, really tariff, which are a lot of our customers
Yes.
got hit with a lot of uncertainties, different things. It's definitely have slowed the tech market. We've seen with all of the layoffs that a lot of these
Right.
tech giants have just done. But I will tell you this, that if one thing I've learned going through the pandemic and going through everything, if you have a good culture, if you have a strong team, if you have customers that trust you and really and stay with you, that's a business that has that resiliency that can really pass through everything. The pandemic has really been the launching pad for my business because everyone needed to digitize at that time. And also with this AI revolution, I would call it, that exists right now, that is also the second launching pad right now for our business, as we're really helping a lot of our customers to navigate. So even if potentially sometimes it's slower in terms of, I would say, new logos or something like that, but really working with our existing customers and helping them navigate in this new world of AI has been a lot of what we've been doing this year.
So when you talk about sharing your vision, I gotta believe that you experienced an empowerment of sorts with your team where people understood who you are, where you're going, how you're going to get there. And coming from you, it inspired people on your team. And perhaps also, next topic I want to get into, you talked about employing new people on your team. You brought some new leaders onto the team,
Yeah,
correct?
correct.
So, when people have clarity and visibility into who you are, where you're going, how you're going to get there, that just makes everyone feel part of the contribution to the business. Are you experiencing something like that?
Yes, and I think I'm a true believer that transparency is key. So the more transparency I can give my employees, good and bad, the better they become. I can tell you that many will inspire, but many also saw fear, especially with many of the people that have been with me for many, many years, because thinking about how can we get there? Can we handle this? Can we
Right.
do this? Do we have the right people to do this? And it's an ongoing task. And I would say this to make sure that, again, that you need to reinforce the team, be there as their leader, as that really spirit behind them that keeps on motivating them to see where they can get and push them to be to those uncomfortable places, because in those uncomfortable places is where we grow the most. And understanding what are those feelings that they're experiencing. Um, and yeah,
Have you defined the core values for your organization?
we did. Yes.
You happen to know what they are?
Yes.
I don't mean to put you on the
So
spot, but maybe you can
no,
share
no,
a
no,
couple.
no, no, absolutely. And I think it's funny you say that, because for me, defining values is the basic. I'm going to say this. Our values have been on our website. Our 4 values have been on our website, I want to say, for about 5 years. So I think having those core values as a company is the most important thing, and everything that they do should always go back to those values. And again,
Yes.
more than just a sales strategy. What has been different this year is we actually added 2 more values. So also knowing that you can evolve with those values as well. So when you're looking at those values, and I'm gonna say again what we started with from our top 4. So first and foremost was our commitment, as I shared, our commitment to create those customer success stories, and that was a commitment to the success of the project, to making sure that our customer feels that that is where our commitment is. Because reality is most digital transformation projects fail to reach their objective because it becomes a finger pointing project, becomes something that fails in change management, in adoption, underestimating complexity. So really having a team that is really committed to that success first and foremost is really, it's someone that will tackle this over and over again, and looking at different toolkits, different things, just to make sure that they're aligned with you, that no matter what, we're going to make that a project successful. Second commitment really from in terms of has been communication. Something that, as I said, transparency is key, making sure that we see ourselves together as partners, as equals, and we are communicating internally as well as externally. Leadership, to making sure that we're continuously allowing to help to bridge the gap that exists to our customers on those leaderships and internally as well, and build different type of path forward for that. And of course, more than anything is visionary as well. So making sure that we're continuously looking at new solutions for our customers and for ourselves to how to continuously improve. So to build a continuous improvement cycles internally that also went externally to our customers as well. Now, this year we have added 2 more, which is unity. So really, essentially, the ability that we created culture beyond borders. And so being a global company, we said unity is something that is extremely important for us as well. So this year we've added two things that are very important to us. The first one is unity, really to make sure that we are really committed to having culture beyond borders, as we are a virtual company. And not only that, set the tone for other companies that are looking to become fully virtual as well, as we've seen that a lot after the pandemic. And still, a lot of people have not really returned fully to the office. So really helping our customers really through us as well to define how does the virtual office looks like. And then the last one is impact. As I said, really shifting to the fact that everything we do creates impact. And to be an impact-driven organization, as we're looking to be, again, the first women-owned impact-driven digital transformation firm. So to make sure that everything that we do, we assess in terms of what is the impact for the customer, what is the impact to that person, to that team, to that employee, and making sure that making those impacts are key part of our values at any given moment.
You mentioned culture multiple times, and this all ties together. Um, Outstanding core values you shared. Thank you very much for sharing that. Talk about how those core values tie into your cultures. And maybe it's obvious, but how do you reinforce those core values? Are you using it for how you interview and hire people? Are you using it for who you let go of? Are you using it for how you evaluate performance? Perhaps how you give accolades and connect people's performance to or their behavior to your core values and reinforce that? Help me understand how you go about doing that.
So I have to say that that is an excellent question. And I want to share a little bit on that story and how I went about the core values. So I started with the core values of, as I said, 5 years ago. That is part of my sales pitch to the customers. These are the core values of us as a company to you. And as I said, the commitment to your success. We're committed to ingenuity. We're committed to clarity and communication and assisting you through leadership. And I think for me as a leader, the first years, I really thought that that's what this is. Like, this is why these core values are so important, is how us as employees or as a company, we show up for our customers. What really clicked for me this year, where I really took my director of marketing and I actually rewrote her whole position as my director of marketing and culture. Because I understood that marketing is not just to the outside, it's equally within. And really, that has been a huge shift for us. And really understanding everything that we speak to the out has to be first and foremost to within. And today, that marketing department spends so much time on taking and incorporating those values in everything that we do every single day. And it's really how we show up as leaders. How do we measure people, as you mentioned? It's really how do what we do right now align with what we're delivering to the outside, or how we are working as a team together. And we see it with so much clarity right now. And it's funny that it took me 10 years for this to click. And I think, again, you needed to pass that certain people amount, I would say, as a company. But I would honestly say that this year has been a huge shift. And this is why I've added 2 more core values of impact and unity, is because I understand that focusing within is equally important than any marketing presentation or podcast that you're putting out there.
Company, when we integrated core values into our interview questions, it helped us to filter and qualify candidates, and we found the right people. Out of the blue, the integrator of the company called me up. He was all excited. He was almost in tears. He's so excited. He's like, "You're not going to believe it, Jim." He goes, "We applied those core values like you taught us." He goes, "And we got the right person. And she's fantastic." And he was going on and on. Yeah. And it was just thrilled. And we do quarterly meetings with our clients. And right after Labor Day, beginning of September, I met with the whole leadership team, and they were just going on and on about how just the conversation around core values, as they use it for performance evaluation, as they use it to reinforce good behavior with their team, so that when they have company meetings, and I believe they do it like once every 2 weeks, they always try to tie back someone's good behavior to one of their 5 core values. And it's really effective. I know for the team that I was part of, where I learned EOS, we had like little play cards that had on one side like an image, and the other side was the definition of the value itself. And the employees were encouraged to collect the cards and it almost became like a game, and it was a lot of fun. In fact, I carry those cards with me still. And when I talk to clients and teach them about core values, I use it as a suggestion of a way to make it fun for everyone, but you're reinforcing the right behavior. And again, you mentioned culture multiple times. So you're doing a lot of great things, a lot of right things. And I just love the way you define your core values. Really good. You hired new people this year for the leadership team.
Yes.
How did you
Whole
know?
set of leaders.
Yeah. How did you know? How did you know it was time to restructure or change seats on your team?
I know that I am building a business that not only that I want to scale, but I want to sell. And eventually, I know that the biggest thing that you need to pass through when you're scaling is to become unrequired and build that team-led company. So seeing how I'm in the everyday and in every project and how involved I am, I understood that if I really want to take this 2027 plan to fruition, getting a whole layer of leadership is my next step. Did not expect all of them being together new in the same time, but in the same time, this has been really great for all of them to learn the business together, to grow the business together, and building themselves as leaders together in the company. And it's been very exciting. I'm very proud of each and every one of them. And if one thing I've learned that I have a super skill as well, even without your trick, which I really would like to take in terms of pulling my values more into my hiring process, is that I am really good in collecting the right type of people together as a group, on really understanding what I learn how to identify the people dynamics and which type of people works together well. And which even when we eventually did a DISC assessment and to all of the leadership together, we could really see how all of them coexist and how they actually complement each other with their different type of personalities.
So what numbers or signals tell you you're hitting the growth ceiling? You've hit a spot. It's like when you're growing as a child, you have those moments where you grow an inch or two during the summer, then you go through like growth spurts when you're growing up. And in business, we all go through the same thing where we're winning, and maybe all of a sudden maybe it's cyclical or it's seasonal or some other impact comes along, and you kind of hit these ebbs and flows in your business flow. So help me understand what the numbers or signals that tell you you're hitting that ceiling.
So I think as a business owner, especially in professional services where I am, there's the comfortable place of being a boutique company that is, again, I would say the low sevens type of figures where, again, you're comfortable, your team is working, you're able to make your customer happy, your team happy. You can even redeem some freedom back and have a lifestyle even.
Right.
And then there's that line that you want to cross, which is really true scaling. And that is really, okay, I want to take this beyond being a boutique company. And that is a whole different type of handling of a business. And that is wanting that, okay, I know I can get this to the 8 and 9 figures, and building the plan of how you get to that 8 and 9 figures, which is all part of that 2027 plan is part of this. So I think when you build that plan, and if you made that decision of shifting from being a boutique or a lifestyle type of business to really scaling and getting to that uncomfortable space, I can tell you that there's a lot of red alerts of and freak up moment in terms of knowing that you're gonna let go of these really comfortable margins. And one of the things for me is hiring a whole leadership team is very much letting go of a very comfortable cushion that I had as leadership. Also, I've decided to scale to product as well, which is an additional investment as well. And being prepared to having that, I'm going to say about 18 months or so of uncomfortable place, or potentially even bringing that funding that is needed during that time to be able to pass that scaling place. But that never ends. But it's really a mindset that you need to pass that, because being from a place of true comfort to learning to live in the uncomfortable as you grow and grow it's where you need to learn to be okay with. And that's where you grow, I would say, the most as a founder.
One more question for you. Like, what part of your business or leadership has to evolve next?
So the part of the business that for me needs to evolve next is really my professional services team. I think we have been able to service a specific line of products for the past decade, and we are looking right now to evolve to other solutions. And as I said, also our own type of solutions as well. So being able to strengthen, I would say, our core methodologies and delivery, which is really exciting as well, as I said, with AI, and really how can we incorporate more AI in our delivery strategy to make sure that we're able to take more. That is really where our focus is right now. And my director of professional services, she's brilliant, and she has been leading the path on this. But being able to honestly say for the next quarter, hire 10 more people right now, and being able to get more projects without doing any disruption to the day-to-day. That's my biggest challenge right now.
So I'll wrap up with this question. If another CEO listening right now feels stuck at their own growth ceiling, what's one mindset or action you'd tell them to start with?
Whew. I'm going to say, before you get with your team, the clarity that comes within needs to come first. You need to be very clear with your vision. And I think this is where the exercise that my mentor said, write it in future tense. And even when I wrote it, she said, no, you still have your blockage. You're not dreaming big enough. Okay. And she pushed me even more. And see it, envision it, put yourself there, and the rest will follow. Because one of the things that I'm seeing over and over again, and I did that myself as well, trying to push people without the why, without the clarity, is all of the things that are going to frustrate you and make you angry at your business every single day. And the more clarity you have, the easier it is to communicate, and then to your leadership to communicate, and then to your team to communicate to your customers. And it's become infectious. And you need to be that chief, as I said, chief repetition officer of making sure that those values, that vision, that it's there in everything you bring every day, and it's how you show up.
It's basically the EOS model, but it talks about vision, defining your vision, who you are, where you're going, and how you're going to get there. Number 2 is people, getting the right people in the right seats. And then 3, you said you're data driven and being able to use data to predict both short and long term for your business. And then how you and your leadership team handle issues or how you solve issues. We use a tool called IDS, identify, discuss, and solve, to make those issues go away forever. And then,
see, I have IDDDS.
Yes.
Identify, diagnose, design, deliver, sustain. So,
Fantastic. That's great.
Yeah.
And then finally, 2 more components: process, which everybody loves, documenting your processes so everybody understands what you want, repeatable process that are consistently performed. And then finally, traction. And it's really bringing your vision down to the ground so that everybody in the business understands who you are, their role, their responsibility, their contribution to the business, and how we're going to get there as a team. And when I help you become healthy in all 6 of those components, that's the EOS model in a nutshell. And that's what I do. You talked a lot about today, what you shared. You're already doing a lot of great business practices that I admire. And I'm just thrilled that you shared that with me today. I'd like to thank you for your time here, Ravit. It's been fantastic speaking with you. I could go on for another 2 hours with you. I know we both
Yes.
got to get going here, but are there any other thoughts you want to share before we part?
Uh, no, this has been really great. And I think if one thing I also share, like I said, it's one of the things that you've touched here on that cycle is process.
Yes.
And I think that is the one thing that us founders we don't like to go and touch
Right.
the process. We always bring people to fix the process because
Yes.
we don't like to do the process. But it really, even though it's not our zone of genius, maybe some of us, yes, but I would say this is definitely something that needs to be in mind and focus, and not only to build those processes, but also to build, as I said, those continuous improvement engines internally, especially today in this agile world that we live in. And that is definitely something that I did not emphasize enough. And that's why I have brought the right person that is super excited about processes all the time. And that's my director of professional services. So if you ever want to have a talk with her as well, she'll be happy to come here too.
Well, I will tell you, as I frequently share, but especially with you, please consider me a resource now and in the future. I would be thrilled to have future conversations with you. I can help you. And I'm a big fan, as I said earlier, everything you shared, it's spectacular, actually. And I congratulate you. Ravit, I want to thank you again for your time today. Again, for our audience, thank you for your time. My name is Jim Lovelady, professional EOS implementer, and I will look forward to the next time we interview another leader here in Southwest Florida. Thanks, Ravit.
Thank you very much, Jim. I appreciate your time.
You've been watching the Growth Ceilings podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's ready to grow.